Hey y'all, and welcome to PolitiBrawl. My name is Brian, and all hell breaks loose in the Congress when Senator Josh Hawley ends up asking this rude, woke professor a very, very important question.
You've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing that.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying
dangerous.
that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they
Wait,
also
she
treated
teaches?
like this, where
No,
they're
they're
told
allowed
that
to
they're
question.
opening up people to violence?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning.
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Ms. Matsky, let me ask you something. So you provide health care to women free of charge, right? Is that right?
Absolutely.
You've done this for many years.
Yep.
You have licensed medical professionals at your pregnancy care centers. Is that right?
That is correct.
What are some of the resources that you provide for women who come to you in a time of need?
So-
just give us you talked about it in your written testimony, but just give us a sense of it.
So we have 3 OBGYN doctors, 5 registered nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, phlebotomists, medical assistants, and we provide prenatal care, OBGYN care. We provide pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, well woman visits, breast exams. We provide a wide range of medical services, yes.
So what do you think about the DC politicians now saying that your clinic and the other 3,000 pregnancy care centers around this country are fake medical clinics? For instance, Senator Warner wrote to Google asking them to censor search results for care centers like yours, saying, directing women to fake clinics that traffic in misinformation is dangerous to women's health and undermines the integrity of Google's search results. Do you run a fake clinic? I mean, is that what's happening here? You don't provide actual medical care to actual women?
We absolutely do not run a fake clinic, and we have a full medical staff. Like I said, many of our medical professionals have experienced abortion for themselves, including our OBGYN doctor who used to perform abortions. So our entire medical staff is there for women, whether they choose abortion and walk out the door or whether they choose life for their baby, and we support them for years after that.
This makes me way more mad than I should be. And you're not seeing it. I actually have it under control for once. But this logic train that the left uses makes me unusually angry, particularly when it comes to the issue of abortion. Why do I get so anal over this? And almost for the exact same reason, education. But there's something even more fundamental when it comes to abortion. I believe that we have the right to life, liberty, and property. Or, as Thomas Jefferson famously wrote, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So there are 4 fundamental things that we should have as human beings. And the first one is the right to life. So, with that out of the way, now we got to turn to crisis pregnancy centers. These places are under logistical and, let's see, what's the word for it? I guess I'll have to use the word lawfare. They are under attack by leftists who want Planned Parenthood instead of crisis pregnancy centers. Hey y'all, as we know, you don't put all your eggs into one basket, right? So that's why I'm partnering over with my friends at Colonial Metals Group, who will help diversify your portfolio. And what they'll do is they'll set up for you a self-directed IRA account. You'll have direct access to your assets. You'll be able to see what all's going on, and it doesn't matter what the stock market does or what often happens, what the government does. Your assets will be protected. So let the team of experts over at Colonial Metals Group help secure your account and your family's future today. There's a link in the description below. Oh, and by the way, if you don't like that, there's a 1-800 number you can call. And most importantly, though, is the kicker. They'll throw in a safe and possibly up to $10,000 in US silver to help you get things started. Now, back to regularly scheduled programming. Why on God's green earth would you think that's a good idea? Just why? Why do you hate the idea of women giving birth and so that the cycle of life can continue? Why do leftists hate this? Do they just fundamentally hate humanity and think it's a cancer? Is this some Agent Smith scenario? By the way, if you get that reference, you're awesome. I don't fully understand it. Maybe it's because they conflate the ideas of rights now instead of rights in the future. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just giving them too much credit for thinking about anything. But we have now an actual instance of a Democrat trying to downplay crisis pregnancy centers by using Silicon Valley, by using Google to downplay it. Why? Just why would you do such a heinous, horrible thing? It makes me truly wonder if leftists really do just hate the human race, and like I've said in other videos, they just want to burn everything down and dance around the ashes. So Josh Hawley is trying to call out something here, that there is an alternative to Planned Parenthood. And these crisis pregnancy centers are constantly under attack by Democrats, by people who think that they're pushing the Overton window. But that's not what this entire video is about. Let's continue to work backwards here. You have a self-righteous professor who thinks that she's doing her Lord's work. Instead, she's continuing to confuse the students that she teaches. This should not surprise me that she teaches. It should not surprise me at all. Our educational institutions have been fundamentally rotted at their core because the left has slowly captured them. The long march through the institutions, it's a real thing, and they have done so. They have eroded one of the best ways to keep a nation together, and that's through a good education system. That's why I like it when conservatives start talking about, what was it? Wasn't it 1619? Wasn't there a 1776 project? Granted, it wasn't well put together, but this is why I actually want to use the Department of Education. We need standardization. We need to start talking about ways to properly educate our students here in the United States. For instance, my parents had to take me out of public school and put me in a private one after elementary school because they saw the writing on the wall. I remember in the third grade, we were given Time magazine for kids, and nearly every other article was Save the Rainforest or the situation in Darfur. They were making us into little social justice warriors back in the early 2000s. And this has become even worse to this point today. Fortunately, a lot of the kids are rejecting it. Fortunately, a lot of the kids are saying, no, stop pushing the pride flag down our throat. We do not like this. As a matter of fact, I think the polling has shown that there is less support from the LGBT community, from Gen Z, than there was than even the boomers. Even the boomers have come around on this. Even evangelicals are coming around to thinking, maybe it's time we do start accepting people. And there's a whole theological debate that can be had about that. That's not what this channel's devoted to. We're here to talk about actual issues. We're here to, on one hand, laugh at people getting basically a dose of reality, but also to push a narrative and to push back against what this professor is talking about. And you can tell it in her eyes, in her voice, in her body language, that she feels so self-righteous, that she's a better person than you are. That's how she thinks. That's how these woke people think. It is unfair, it's unhealthy, and guess what? It's not righteous. The self-righteousness is something different. It is the sin of pride, one of the worst ones you can have, because pride, like wrath, is blinding. This will blind you to the truth. This will blind you to the rest of the world. to think that you are so superior because you quite literally have blinders on and you're looking at yourself in the mirror thinking that you are the best thing since sliced bread. It's possible that some of these people can be saved. But when you try to go up against Josh Hawley and talk about this nonsense and try to say that, oh, I'm teaching the kids good things, I have only two ways to deal with this: laugh or cry. And I'm not Glenn Beck. I can't cry on command. So ultimately, I have to laugh. But it makes me sad. A bit of my soul dies when I have to see some of this. And you could tell Josh Hawley was losing IQ points just talking to this lady. And he had to take a step back and regain some. Well, get woke, go broke, I guess. I'd say bless her heart, but I don't want to. She needs Jesus, that's for sure. But I think he's the only one that can save her at this point. Y'all, thanks for watching in. Thanks for tuning in here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one, and until then, y'all have a good one.